Hi, welcome back to the back porch. Today we're working on the succulents, and I have put mine in a vintage teacup, which you 100% can do, or you can use another receptacle if you like. And here we have got a hen and chick, and we've got some donkey tail and a cactus. So the video for the cactus, just scroll and you will find that one. And today we're going to do the hen and chick. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5. We're going to go with 5. 5 outer leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mid leaves, and then 3 center leaves. And we make all the leaves in the same way. We are just making them in different sizes. Well, there's number 5. It was just my counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to squish him a little bit to give him that cup shape that I like. And I can talk more about that. So here we have 3 of the leaves already done. How do I do a leaf? So I take some of the peach and just tap it down and coax it into the shape that I want. I want it to be very much the same as the other shapes. If you can hear that sound of ATVs in the background, I apologize. We are out on the back porch in Muskoka, so ATVs will happen. Hopefully it's short-lived. Okay, so I'm going to pull this extra off away. If you find any little bits in your wool, just little bits of hay, just dispose of them. So I tap, tap, tap. And if this is your first video, there are little barbs on the end of the needle, and there are naturally little barbs in the wool. I'm using this top leaf just as a guide to give me the size that I want. But now that I have that, I think I can move it. So I tap, 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 tap. And as I tap, the fibers in the wool become entangled and compressed. And that's how we can make any shape, and we can combine shapes by tapping them together, which you will see. So tap, 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 tap. And then it's going to be attached to the felting pad. You got a small foam felting pad. I have got a larger one underneath this. And I've covered it with a piece of felt because it has a lot of fibers in it from previous projects, and I didn't want them to get involved. So you see I've peeled it up, and that means it's lost its shape a little bit, which is okay. I just go back and tap, 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 tap again. Really, I'm making a small leaf shape fabric by tapping this, by entangling and tapping. And see, as I guide the shape with my needle, and I just want this little leaf shape. I want it to be the same as this one, which I think we're close enough, and close enough is good. So now I'm going to peel it off again, peel it off, and then come back around and tap it some more. And just keep going with that until you've got, something like this, something that is nice and self-contained and is sturdy enough that it's going to hold. Just keep on tapping. I'm going to turn it another time. Sorry, that's ATVs again. Okay, we have this. And it's the one that I've made is quite thin. And I like that. But you can make it thicker if you want it to be thicker. That's up to you. I like it to be a little bit delicate. Okay, so then I took a bit of the of this green, this yellow green that is one of my favorite colors, and another one of our succulents for this project is fully made of this color, so they go well together. I use a little bit of it in the cactus and a lot of it in the donkey tail. Do you see? I just tapped it onto the bottom, and then I'm going to fold this over. You might see your sedum. Your sedum. It's not a sedum. It's a hen and chick. You might see your hen and chick from the other side. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so that gives me that nice green for the two-tone of this fellow. And then these ones that I like, I really kind of went up to the sides with that. So you could do it if you wanted to. You could come up the sides a little bit. And you see how little wool I used there. One of the magics of working with wool is that it doesn't take much to have wonderful results, to really create something, to lay color into your project. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. I think I like that. And then I went with this kind of mottled burgundy for another little detail up at the top. See, I'm just tapping it in. So the fibers of the new color become entangled with the fibers of the previous color, and they stay together. Make sure that you've connected it firmly enough that it will stay together. Okay, do you see how that is a little bit wonky? So I'm going to take a piece of, this is a name plate that I used for something, and I'm going to hold on to it like this and tap into it. And this is a new thing. I didn't know this before, and I would hold it like this, and sometimes stab myself. I do like the closeness of it for this kind of work, just tapping in between the fingers. But as you're new to the project, if you're new to needle felting, I think using a holder, it could be anything. It could be a little piece of cardboard, just something that to give some distance between the needle and your finger. The two things people do when they start needle felting is that they stab themselves and they break needles. I gave you 2 needles so that if you break one, you have a second one, and if you break that, I have others for sale. You could order a set. And the way to avoid that is straight in and out. Don't flick. They're brittle needles, really. They're fine needles, and they're kind of brittle. They do not bend. So straight in and out. You can come on a diagonal, that's fine, but come out the way you came in. Hold the needle gently and just tap, 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 tap. For lots of folks, the satisfaction of needle felting comes from the stabbing motion, and you can get some force behind that, but still be gentle. Okay, do you see how that tapping really helped this? I'm going to tap a little bit more up here. I feel like that needs some more. I feel like it's just not quite enough to make a statement. I would like it to make a statement and say, I'm here. See how that's kind of better? And I'm tapping it and tapping it and tapping it in. And as I tap it in, I do want this end to have a bit of a point, so I can I can coax that shape with my needle, and then I pull it up. Around, pull these little guys, get them in there. Okay. So we make another and another and another, so that I have 5 outer leaves, 5 inner leaves. And making it smaller is really just that. So if I want the inner leaf to be about half the size of this, when I'm making it, I'm going to go just like that. You can put the larger one beside it to make sure that you're getting about the size that you want. So then I'm going to make the middle ones about half the size. And then these inside ones, these little inner babies here, are really quite tiny. So very little wool. So I've got something quite small for the inside. Could be a little bigger. So this guy about half the size of that, and this guy about half the size of that will work really well. And then add the green on the bottom and the red on the top, and you'll have your 3 different sizes. So then how do I put them together? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to deconstruct a little bit to get the 5th one here. 5. And you could, if you want them to cup up, you could fold them like this and just tap. Smooth these guys. And then tap at that center point quite lightly. Fold it and tap. See how I've done that in the fold? And then when you open it up again, you've got more of a cup shape, which is really what you want for this. So let's do that with all of them. Okay. Now, how to connect these 5 together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've just layered them on each other the way a petal would. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a huge chunk, just enough so that we can connect those fibers. And then I'm tapping through all of them. You see what I've done here? This guy is a little bit too far inside. And so if you don't like the way you've positioned them, just pull them up and reposition. I think that's good. And then I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to do a bit of that tapping on the other side so that I know that they're all together. So I've grabbed fibers in each of the petals and I've entangled them. And then I have this little gap here that I don't love too much. And that's okay, because I'll just move this guy over a little bit and tap him in. If you don't like it, just pull them apart and try again until you're very happy with what you've got. And then you do that again, so more deconstructing to reconstruct. You do that again with your 5 smaller ones, right? Layer them on top of each other just like we did with the larger one, and then tap them together, readjusting as you go. That looks quite nice. And then I'm going to lay this 5 into the other. And do I want these inner petals to kind of, you know, fit so that they're coming in between these two? I like the look of that for positioning. So there's that 5. And then you have these tiny little 3 babies. Hello, little ones. There's a bit of lilac there. I put some lilacs in my cup. No, lavender. I put some lavender in my cup so that it would smell nice. Okay, then the little guys on the inside, scooped right into the middle there. And tap until, oops, sorry about that. Tap until they are well connected. Then I pull it up and I cup it a bit. And there we go. I have the hen and chick. And I think that when I did the cactus video a little bit ago. I think when I did it, I showed you. So there's all that lavender that I was talking about. I put lavender in the bottom of my cup. It smells so nice. You can do that if you want. So you've got brown in your kit, and it's very lightly felted, just so that it can be the earth that I attach the succulents to. So just stuff that brown into whatever it is you're doing it with, and tap it until it's firm enough that it's going to take these. That it's going to take these. Is that what I mean to say? That it's going to hold them, right? So when I go to put the cactus in, I can tap it into the earth and it will hold. You want to do that fairly firmly, and you want your earth to be firm enough that it's not going to flop over. And then I put this guy in. And I tap him in too. The succulent, right? And you can tap it some more. Just keep tapping till you know that it's in there really well. And there's my cactus. You can put several of these little pink bobules on your cactus. I think they look very sweet. Okay, so check out the next video, which will be how we make the donkey tail. Thank you. Have a great day with Feltalala. You make beautiful things.